Every morning, more than 1 million families drop their kids off at childcare, trusting the system will keep them safe. Most have no idea what's really going on.
It is certainly reaching crisis point.
Oh yes, it's in crisis. There are too many children in services that are not up to scratch. There are too many teachers and educators who are not well prepared.
For the past 9 months, we've been investigating how the industry got to this point, uncovering abuse, neglect and systemic failure across the sector. But there's another scandal unfolding, a decline in educator quality and training.
You need to be able to drop your child off in the morning knowing that they're going to be safe and that they're going to be sort of well educated and looked after.
Australia's childcare sector is short thousands of workers. Tonight we uncover how the gap is being filled by fast-track courses, which can put children at risk. Lynette Rick worked in childcare for 35 years and now trains and assesses educators.
We're desperate for early childhood educators. The country's desperate for them. And the only way we're going to get them through quickly is by dropping the standards. And the people that are disadvantaged are the children.
Childcare is short 21,000 workers. And for those already in the system, 1 in 4 intend to quit. To fill the gap, governments and regulators are backing fast-track courses that have little oversight or regulation.
I look at the students that come in and I think, oh my gosh, the students 10 years ago were so much more committed.
Faced with booming demand, some private operators and universities have turned accelerated childcare courses into a money spinner, sacrificing quality. Do you see a correlation between a decline in quality in education and the rise in serious incidents in centres?
Oh, absolutely.
To work in childcare, you need a qualification or be studying for one. The most common is a Certificate 3, which takes up to a year and qualifies you as an entry-level educator. A degree typically takes 4 years and qualifies you as a teacher.
It's my privilege to confer the awards to our graduates today.
One institution pushing it hard is Southern Cross University. 730 understands an estimated 6,000 students have been enrolled in its 10-month graduate diploma in the past 2 years. At $25,000 each, that's around $150 million in fees. The majority are international students, some men in their 40s and 50s, with backgrounds in fields like IT, engineering and finance, not early childhood or teaching. Insiders say a crisis is brewing at the university. Staff are leaving and students are disengaged and ill-prepared for childcare. We can't identify these whistleblowers. Some are bound by contracts, some are dealing with trauma, but they're so concerned they've chosen to speak out. And so the graduate diploma is attracting thousands of students.
We've gone from having classes with 200 students in a unit, which was considered a lot, to over 2,000 students.
It's not equipping the students. There's also no mandatory attendance.
What do you think of the quality of the course?
Very low quality.
We have access to leaked emails from Southern Cross University. Staff were directed to join phone sprints after the university enrolled so many students it couldn't keep up with the demand for childcare placements, a mandatory part of the course. One email described the situation as a significant crisis, threatening the viability of the faculty, with 400 placements needed by May and another 2,381 by July. What are you meant to do?
It's basically like the faculty turns into a call centre, and we are told that we have to ring early childhood services to secure more placements.
Staff are placed in teams and the highest scorers win a gift card. Centres are also rewarded for taking the most students. Is that unusual in academia?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Southern Cross University is based in regional New South Wales and has campuses around the country. In 2023, it bought out a private education partner and ramped up its international student intake. Fast-track courses like childcare were put on steroids, aggressively marketed through education and immigration agents.
And reliable pathway to permanent residency.
Why don't you explore the most popular course, which is Graduate Diploma of Education Early Childhood at Southern Cross University?
Now Southern Cross University is offering Graduate Diploma. Because of this course, your PR pathway will be easy.
Immigration agent Mark Glasbrook has worked in immigration for nearly 30 years and says international students are flocking to childcare courses to gain permanent residency.
It should concern every Australian that we have people coming into Australia on student visas that are studying courses just to use that pathway to get permanent residency in Australia, and they're looking after our children. And in some cases, they're not attending their classes.
Education providers are scrambling to cash in. Some are pushing low quality or even fake qualifications. Last year, the Australian Skills Quality Authority, ASQA, revoked over 21,000 fake qualifications from 4 private colleges, including nearly 2,000 childcare certificates issued to domestic and international students.
There's a lot of education providers that are set up to deliver courses that are worthless, they're useless. This is a big concern.
More recently, I've been looking at the workforce.
Dr. Marianne Fennick is a professor of early childhood education at the University of Sydney and one of the country's leading experts on quality standards in early learning. She noticed a rise in one-year graduate diplomas, the kind Sydney University refuses to offer.
Do you think childcare has become big business?
Oh, childcare's been big business for a long time. What we've seen is a dramatic shift. We've seen a shift from 4-year undergraduate programs to 1-year graduate diplomas. This is new in the teacher education space because we have a significant shortage of early childhood teachers. Employers of high quality services are telling us that the quality of graduates coming out is not what it used to be. It's not as high as it should be.
Is it also about money?
It's a cash cow for universities.
As part of the course, students must complete placements at childcare centres. 7:30 can reveal that Southern Cross University tried to place students in childcare centres that fail to meet minimum national quality standards, a rating system designed to ensure safety, education and care.
Does that alarm you?
It alarms and it upsets me.
The university even placed students in centres with the lowest quality ratings.
A service that's rated as significant improvement required means that children are at significant risk of harm. I can't imagine how that could properly prepare them to be an effective teacher.
New South Wales Greens politician Abigail Boyd has been working with us to secure secret departmental documents from the regulator.
How on earth is it giving those students any kind of good education? Like that strikes me as just absurd.
Some centres are having to remove some of the students during their placements. This is what is being documented.
So we're talking about unwanted contact with children, including cuddling children who didn't want it, rubbing chest, lifting a child's dress.
Have said they don't need to engage in any learning and only here to get their visa.
He didn't understand the policies, he didn't do his observations, and I found him in the centre playing computer games instead of doing his work.
A student was trying to take children away into a private space unsupervised, and when that was queried by the educators, apparently that happened again.
I've been speaking to insiders, current and former staff, assessors, contractors and educators who are all deeply concerned.
The students are completely ill-equipped. To describe graduate diploma graduates from this course as qualified professionals is, quite frankly, insulting to skilled, passionate early childhood teachers. Many of the students, when they graduate, don't have basic understandings of child safety, identifying risk, mandatory reporting.
In the past year, the National Higher Education Regulator, TEQSA, has received a series of complaints from staff and students about Southern Cross University's early education courses. TEQSA has launched a probe. It said live compliance processes were initiated earlier this year, and the findings would inform a separate review of the university's re-registration. Southern Cross University declined 730's interview request and did not respond to detailed questions about enrolment numbers, staff turnover, student distress, or course quality and placement issues. In a statement, it said the graduate diploma is a rigorous, high-quality program, attracting strong interest, and that it's fully accredited by TEQSA and ASEQA.
Is education something you would be looking at in your parliamentary inquiry?
We absolutely will be looking into education and educational standards in our inquiry.
It's not just experts saying childcare and the quality of education across the sector is in crisis. We have internal documents which prove it. Thousands of damning pages from the New South Wales regulator. Educators not understanding safe sleep practices for babies, not reporting serious incidents to families, kids left alone, even educators falling asleep. And when the most basic standards aren't met, it puts child safety at risk.
It paints this picture of a sector where when terrible things happen, it's easily traced back to people who just don't know what they're doing. It's very, very concerning.
Nothing prepared Joseph Maragol for the call to tell him his 16-month-old daughter, Ariana, had been found unresponsive at a Sydney childcare centre in 2018.
I was told that we have found Ariana unresponsive and we're currently performing CPR.
Ariana was taken to hospital and pronounced dead. Since then, Joseph has been trying to get answers.
We had to get a legal team to work with us to start finding out what has happened to her.
On paper, the centre's sleep policy exceeded the national benchmark set by Red Nose Australia. Sleep checks every 10 to 15 minutes.
And what actually was going on?
Far from checking 10 minutes. Ariana was left alone from 9 o'clock for a period of 50 minutes, 56 minutes, sometimes over an hour without any checks. And they, to my best knowledge and understanding, those time frame were not physical check. They were checking it from the CCTV cameras as well.
Joseph later discovered the centre's sleep practices had been flagged years earlier by a regulator who noted sleep checks were being done via a screen rather than physical checks.
Our life was shattered and our family was broken. For us to know, not only the department knew about the sleep check.
Do you believe poorly trained staff contributed to this tragedy?
Absolutely. Some of these trainers, they're very young. How do they know what is the correct policy or procedures to rewire a child that is not, it's not responding? How do they make the decision of walking into the room to check physically on the breathing pattern of the kids? These are a very crucial points that any educator needs to be aware of it.
Ariana's autopsy was inconclusive and the cause of death was recorded as unascertained.
We're still fighting to find the answers. It's been 7 years and counting.
The centre and its owner were found guilty of 13 charges in 2022, including failing to appropriately supervise children and protect them from harm. None of the charges related directly to Ariana's death.
The system, the industry needs an overhaul entirely, so we can show that our kids going to these centres are safe.
Major safety issues occur frequently. Experts say inadequate training and poor supervision is driving a sharp rise in serious incidents. More than 26,000 cases last year alone, up 27% in 3 years. That's 72 serious incidents a day, including injuries, ambulance call-outs and missing children.
If you judge a society by the way we treat our children, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves.
We have a Prime Minister who is wanting to leave a legacy of 3 years universal access for young children. They need universal access to high quality early childhood education. We don't want a system where we just hothouse children in services so their parents can go to work.
Why have you decided to speak up?
Because I've had enough.
Children deserve better.
We have been destroyed by the childcare centre industry. Our life has been destroyed. My son was going to a preschool last year. My wife, for 12 months, was sitting in a car park watching him every second he was in that preschool. So that tells the story about trust. They've taken everything from us.